Ready? All right. Good evening. I call to order the regular meeting of the Diversity Commission for January 21st, 2025. Happy New Year. Welcome, commissioners. Lyon, can we get a roll call, please?
Noonan. Here. Sheen.
Here.
Jawar. Here. Walker. Here. Thompson. Here. Ling Chu. Here. Aurora. Here. Spratt.
Good. All right. Public is welcome at this time to address the commission on items not listed on the agenda, but within the commission's scope. There will be an opportunity to comment on other agenda items at the time they're discussed. To make a public comment, please fill out the public comment card and give it to the staff liaison. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Please note that the commission is not able to engage in discussion with speakers. The commission may only accept comments into the record for consideration due to Brown Act laws. Lyon, do we have any public comment comments? Okay. I'll now close public comment and move on to item 4, approve the December 17th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Commissioners, please take this time to review the December 17th minutes if you've not done so while we wait for commenters on this item. I'll now open public comment on this item to approve the December 17th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. To make a comment on this item, please fill out and hand a public comment card to the staff liaison. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Lyon, do we have any public comment cards on this topic? All right. I'll now close public comment and bring it back to the commission. Lyon, did we get an email from you in the intervening time about some corrections? Is there anything you wanted to bring to our attention on this item, or am I conflating this with something else?
Do you mean the calendar? I put that under community, I think it was I think I put it under the calendar. Let's see. Yes, it's under item 6.
Okay. It'll come up then. Okay. All right. And so are the meeting minutes, this 3-page document, is it then correct?
It would have been the previous.
Got it. Okay. All right.
So, sorry, Carson, let me correct. That what you're asking about is listed in the announcement section of the minutes you're looking at, because that's where we were in the meeting when it was discovered that the light of the night had not actually been discussed.
Got it.
Does that sound?
Yes. Okay. No rush. Just please look up whenever you're done reviewing the minutes. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the minutes of December 17th? Commissioner Thompson, do I have a second? All right, Commissioner Sheen. There's a motion before this committee to approve the minutes from the December 17th, 2024 session of the Pleasant Hill Diversity Commission. Can I get the ayes? Ayes. The nays or abstentions? One abstain from Commissioner Shore. The motion passes. Minutes are approved. Community feedback. In October, we voted to add the community feedback as a recurring item on the agenda where input from the public can be discussed. We have one that I asked to put off another month while I did a little bit more research and writing. We can get to that, but before we get to that, is there any new community feedback that anybody's received that we'd like to put up first in this space? Okay, hearing none, then I will bring before this group the question regarding labor negotiations and city holidays. just to sort of refresh and reorient everyone, we had a note from a member that pointed out that there were portions of the state of California and certain cities that had adopted Indigenous Peoples Day as the October holiday, and the state of California, while it still has Columbus Day as a holiday, allowed folks to take it as a floating holiday. There's a bit more than that, but those are sort of the two general tracks. Recognizing that the city had negotiations coming up with its three unions, the Diversity Commission wanted to put forward the information feedback from the community. And to that end, I drafted some of the issues, some of the sort of the legal framework around this, the existing state of federal and state law and regulation, and some options. I know I didn't get you to this pretty late in the day. So if you're just seeing it now, I totally understand. Take your time. But this was for, are there any corrections, changes, discussion, more to say on this? Again, this was just my draft. It's here for your input, just to kick off the conversation. Although, keep in mind, we also need to get, I think, because of the timing of this, we do want to get this to the city sooner rather than later. Yeah.
So are we presenting these options for them to decide on? Or is it something that we want to give our recommended option to them? Just kind of, is that?
It's a whole, so as put to us, we have a community, this came to us through a community member who wanted to make sure that the city was aware of this practice. As the city's advisory committee on matters of diversity and inclusion, we can provide input. I would have concerns about this body putting its finger on labor negotiations. I think would get us in trouble very quickly. So I don't recommend we can do that. But I think we can say, well, while we couldn't pressure either side, I think we can talk about what we think is important too. I mean, this is just sort of a broad discussion of options. You know, we can say more, I guess is what I'm saying, but we can't pressure and coerce.
We don't pressure. Just but we do give our recommendation based on inclusive community. So
and that's part of the founding principle, right?
Absolutely.
And we haven't really done it.
No, and they have asked us for it.
So does the city currently recognize this as Columbus Day and not Indigenous Day? That's a question that I have.
It does, yeah, in standard with the state practice and the federal practice.
But they have done proclamations for Indigenous Peoples' Day too, but the holiday is on the Monday.
So it's both.
No, not really, they can do a proclamation and honor the significance of Indigenous Peoples' Day, but people don't have the day off as a city employee for that. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's basically it's in a contract. It's the three contracts say you get X day of October off, Columbus Day.
I think you did a lot of awesome work.
Yeah, agree.
Thank you. The only one that's kind of hitting me the wrong way is the joint proclamation.
having them both.
together. I'm not sure I would call Columbus Day culturally significant. But maybe historically, it's like traditional significant. But putting them in the same one might bring more, might be more offensive to it.
I definitely want to echo that. When I read it, I just wasn't sure. That's why I asked the question of what's the recognition, I guess federally as well as this, our state and then city wide. And I know that when I was in the education field, it wasn't any longer called Columbus Day. It was titled Indigenous Peoples' Day. I'm not sure what the city or state law says about that. That's a question. I actually, but personally would not even want to have Columbus Day sort of in part of as that discussion because of the culturally insignificance and the atrocities that follow that day. So that's a question and
Other inputs?
Are we opening the door to have discussions on multiple holidays or just Columbus Day?
I mean, I think we can. This is all shaped around one email.
One
right?
email.
We're here because of one email. But it was, a point well made from a member of our community, and we're here to serve that community. But we can. I mean, this is where we focused at this point, but it doesn't.
It might be a nice opportunity to just open the door to, have a evaluation to make sure that all the holidays that we're recognizing as a city are in tune with our values. I can't think of another one that wouldn't be, but just.
I think the rest of them are all like federal holidays or.
They're all federal holidays.
Oh, this one too.
Yeah.
I like that idea of floating holidays. I don't know, like how. Do you guys have any other floating holidays in your contract?
We do have one floating holiday.
You just, you have like a couple options or you take it whenever you want?
You take it whenever you want within the year.
So would this be, the way we're proposing it,
Be to take away a fixed holiday and give another floating
that
holiday.
we don't recognize either, like like in the contract wouldn't recognize either, it would just say you have a floating holiday.
That is a recommendation this body could make, yeah.
I mean, is that what this is recommending?
I mean, I think what I was going for is lots of options. I
Yeah.
didn't see any of these as being mutually exclusive.
Oh, okay.
I think this is like a palette for you guys, for us to discuss and for folks to choose from.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Was the problem that there wasn't a holiday in the contract for Indigenous people or Columbus?
No, this came up because the city's calendar was posted somewhere online and someone noticed that they had Columbus Day off. And this person sent an email saying, why do you have Columbus Day off? And then so we asked, and so the answer to that question was because it is a state and federal holiday and it's also what has been recognized in the contract. But then we learned the contract is coming up.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's how.
Just add to that, when we are closed for a holiday, then a banner goes across our website also too, so. If you went to the
Closed for.
website, it's, closed for and it states the reason, so that could have been another more broadly communicated. Sometimes it might even be on the banner out there, I'm not sure on the
Yeah.
LED board.
Yeah.
And there's 3 negotiation groups within our city employees, and so it needs to be the same for all of them, is the other reason that this group is trying to have some sort of decision made by time the 2026 contract negotiations happen.
Do the labor unions issue any proclamations normally? Okay. Maybe we can just take out number 2.
We take out number, sorry.
Number under
Recommendation.
recommendations.
Oh, gotcha.
Could we recommend that we replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples' Day?
That would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I just Googled it and some counties in California do not recognize it and have replaced it with celebrations of Indigenous Peoples' Day.
That is exactly what I was just looking at.
Yeah.
If we did it in school district,
Counties, so, and states.
and school districts do it in that way as well, and so I think that would be the easiest recommendation, would be to take out Columbus Day and replace it with Indigenous people.
You know, it seems contra to the mission though of this to replace anything. I mean, we're an inclusion committee. And so to ignore Italian history and the history of the country too would be disincluding a group as well.
Isn't that the sole reason why we were created in a way to, is dismember colonialism and the effects thereof of diversity and inclusion?
No, those are not in our mission. Inclusion is our mission to create a sense of belonging. We're not an exclusive a group for excluding. Our mission was to bring people together, not to try to separate groups.
Interesting. So how do we bring along that concept? And I'm struggling with that, like.
Well, I think giving people the
that-
choice was sort of the idea. I like the idea. I mean, I think, I forget, it wasn't my idea. It was somebody here at this table. But the idea of the floating holiday was to give people the choice to celebrate in the way they saw fit without excluding people.
You were saying something.
Yeah, I was saying, we received one comment about this, and it's going to affect the city staff. I do think that before we make any decisions, we should gather information from people that would be affected by it. Do they want a floating holiday or do they want a set holiday? And then we should also poll the community and see like where they're at, right? Because we're not representing one person, we're representing the community. And I know that this was very divisive last time that this was brought up. And the city council did have a discussion about renaming a few years ago, and it was like, no, it's not gonna happen. And it got to one point and then went like, nope, shut it down. So there is a lot of controversy around this, so we have to approach it from a listen and pull ideas together versus a this is how we think it should be done perspective.
That's good history.
Yeah.
And also keep in mind, it's not our decision. Like,
Yeah.
this is and I think you're right. Like, I hate making decisions or recommendations in an information vacuum. You're absolutely right, Jonna. Also part of this, that's the union's job, is to get their constituents' interests in mind. And I think ours is just to present an opinion of our set of expertise based on our mission and our values.
And, obviously we can find out and get more information. My assumption as a employee of other organizations would be, wouldn't a floating holiday where people can choose whichever day or day they want to take off, I would think that would be the most flexible for folks. They could take the next day, they can call it whatever they want. And then as our group, we could have a proclamation. Other groups should have proclamations. I mean, you can, any group can, have a proclamation presented from the city. So that might be a potential option to make it the most flexible, but obviously at the end of the day, it depends on the needs. But I'm just throwing it out.
So maybe for under recommendations, we start with an operational review and stakeholder input.
Move
And then move
from principles to an actual recommendation.
Yeah, but you have it as number 4 on recommendations. I was just
Oh,
saying,
there it is. Yep.
I was just saying,
Okay.
start with that one.
Okay.
And then, after you get input from the people who are working, right? Then the community survey, maybe add that as a recommendation.
if we went the floating holiday route, just to play it out a little bit, if people go to the Pleasant Hill website on that day, will it still just say Columbus Day because they will have the flexibility of the floating holiday? No,
Anything.
it wouldn't be anything.
So you could take it
You
when
could
we
take
want.
it.
Oh, I see. So we're saying that, okay. I thought it was in addition to Columbus Day, there's a floating holiday. It would be in, got it.
Any part of bargaining, like if the union wants an extra holiday, then everybody gets a pay cut, like.
Yeah.
But the email that we received from the resident was just asking, and I was trying to do that too, was just asking why we are calling it or celebrating Columbus Day instead of Indigenous Day. So can we just recommend that it be changed to be called Indigenous Day on the website? I know you all just had a big conversation about that, but I'm still not clear on why we can't just recommend that.
Well, I think,
That's on the city of Pleasant Hill, like, I'm not talking about the labor and the union and all that, I'm just talking about the name.
As
Yeah,
opposed
that's
to just put it
all,
on the calendar?
yeah, that's all this person is asking about. I just read the comment that was submitted, so,
Can the city do something differently on their calendar than with the labor?
yeah, instead of calling it something that it's not the legal name for the holiday, the name for the governor officially said the name for this holiday is Indigenous Day. So why is Pleasant Hill calling it something that's not supposed to be called? That's what the email says.
Goes back to what I was wondering about.
Yeah.
why is it Columbus Day or Indigenous Day, right? Like it's mandated. And then we talked a little bit about why diversity and belonging and equity and inclusion. And so I don't know, I think it's a fair recommendation being governor has said that the name is this, instead of that.
So the purpose of that calendar is to list the official dates that city employees are being given paid time off. So it has to list whatever the actual date is for which they don't have to work.
So that has to be
Which is
followed.
why you all are talking about it from a labor negotiation standpoint, because the city can't say, we've let everyone go home today because of X day, if that's not what's in the contract.
plus I guess the other question, if there's floating holidays, that would have to, who's gonna work and who's not.
So the
Like,
city
there's-
would no longer be closed for either of those days, right, if it's optional.
Yeah, so I understand that.
At the point of that this was brought up historically and didn't pass somehow, that just, defeats the purpose of, I guess, us recommending it again.
I
but we
still want to
absolutely can.
recommend it. I mean, we have a new
Yeah, absolutely, could be.
council members and all that, but I mean, it's up to what you all think.
A compromise solution is we recommend that they just change the name to both.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I don't know. To me, I would like the recommendation of observing Indigenous Peoples' Day instead of Columbus Day. I understand like why it's complicated. I understand why that discussion was hard last time. But I think just because it was defeated once doesn't mean we can't bring it up again 3 years later. But like these are like options to consider, and one of them to consider could be consider making holiday.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can add a number that says.
But
change the holiday.
yeah, I would put it as like consider.
And that's what all they are, they're just
Yeah.
recommendations. We have no authority. These are
Right.
just recommendations. Like we're.
That makes sense.
But it seems like we're not ready to. Maybe we need another month and draft it.
Yeah, I can take another crack at it and get it back out with much more time for everybody to review.
What's the deadline?
All I know is 2026 is
Oh,
when,
okay, we got time.
Well, it's a 2026 contract. I bet those negotiations open up over the summer.
Now.
It's usually at least 3 months to close the contract.
February seems like a good time.
So does this mean we're going to get a little bit more information from community members or
I
how?
think we should do that, or see how many people are interested and get signatures and that kind of stuff, if that's the route you wanna go. Because again, this was very controversial and there were two very vocal groups and it feels not right unless it's up to like a vote for the city who they, what they. And I know we can't vote on the ballot as much as I would love to. But it would have to, we have to get people that want it to do a gather
Well,
signatures and that kind of stuff.
And it's none of those things really. Ultimately, it's what the city and the unions negotiate. Like, I mean, we could have a vote that said 30,000 to nothing either way.
But
And
just
so
like
whatever's
the districts happened, it took a person saying, hey, we want this, and they gathered people's voices from the city, and then that got presented to the city council. So like, I think if we want to move in that direction, we should ask the residents as to what they want and gather the signatures that we need and move it towards the council.
So you're saying we do that ourselves instead of like putting it in a
We
recommendation?
can make a recommendation
That they,
Yeah,
okay.
that they poll the residents. I don't know time, I'm sorry.
Residents and staff, right?
Yeah.
Like city staff.
Yeah, so do two separate.
Should we also do some research to see what other cities have done to address it?
Yeah, maybe, all the local ones.
Yeah. I can take that.
I have a list, I was trying to do it, but yeah, because the clerks talk about it, it's come up.
Yeah.
At least as of last year, I think there were like, 3 cities that recognize Indigenous Peoples' Day,
Did you say 3 or 30?
3.
Three.
And it was, specifically, this is in the, Contra Costa.
Yeah.
How many cities are there?
I'll try and find, I have a spreadsheet where I was keeping track of the responses.
Do you have any idea, just off the top of your head, like Martinez, Concord, Walnut Creek, what they do since they're closest to us?
I don't recall, but I'll see if I can
Okay.
check for the NFB.
Be interesting also to know if there's any who don't recognize either one.
Well, and just do like a floating holiday.
There were some who they don't use that date as one of their holiday dates.
I personally think that defeats the purpose of recognizing the holiday, and mainly because I'm really bad at taking time off. Time off is great, and then especially if you know why you're being forced to take time off. So I'm not a fan of floating holidays, but if that's like the compromise, I'm okay with it. But if we're trying to be like, this is why we're taking the holidays, people pause and think, then a decision has to be made on to which one it is. But if the floating holiday is like the middle ground, I'm okay with it, obviously. But I'm just stating my fact, like my floating holidays add up. I'm like, oh crap, I have to take these.
You like, you miss a day while everybody else is working, and it's just like waiting for you, I mean.
And then you get those emails like, you're gonna lose it if you don't use it, and now you're like trying to take a day off.
I did find it, so I am mistaken, I'm glad I found it. This was as of July of 2023. There's 19 cities in this list. 4 of them recognize Columbus Day, only one of them recognizes Indigenous Peoples' Day instead, which is Richmond. Walnut Creek doesn't do either. Martinez recognizes Columbus Day. Was there one more city you asked?
Walnut Creek, oh, sorry, Concord.
So Concord doesn't do either.
Doesn't look like the county does either.
And
That could be a recommendation.
Yeah, that could be a recommendation.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I will throw this out as well. If it's gonna be the same day, if we were going to recognize, acknowledge, et cetera, if we could really have if we understand the concerns on either side for either doing both or not doing both, but if we really had a very detailed, I don't know, proclamation, statement, whatever the case may be, acknowledging the historical context of one, and also recognizing everything that's happened we could have done that and now being supportive of other, just kind of other thought. So.
The conclusion that we can put proclamation is that, and for the recommendation is the survey, floating holiday, replacing Columbus Day with Indigenous Day, or don't celebrate either of them. Right, those are the options.
But I think a lot of it, well, yeah, we just need more information from the city and see what community members are interested in, and staff, obviously, and council.
I thought that effort will be under the survey, which is under the labor union to do that.
Yes.
We also wanted to do a community survey.
But that's not done by us, it's done by the union.
But that would be, we would recommend to city council that they do a community survey. And then, I don't know how they would do that. Maybe they would turn it back to us and say do it, or maybe they would like put it on like social media, I don't know.
Have we ever done that community survey?
Not this commission.
The Commission on Aging has done a survey about, it was like, you need the Boulder Americans or something like that, and they just opened it for a few weeks and encouraged people to fill it out.
No, I took a bike survey once. with the Education Commission. maybe.
What is the conclusion?
So I think the conclusion is we're gonna maybe make some, try to talk about it again in February. And that would be my proposal. And then have that more of the city information in front of us too.
You want additional city information?
Well, like maybe we can put some of that in here too, like about what other towns have done.
Any more discussion on this item? Don't want to choke it off. Okay, well then we'll keep this item open for further debate in February. All right. Moving on to item 6, review of the Diversity Commission calendar. Our commission agreed to review the calendars, continue item discussion during our meetings.
Okay, I know there's some things that I still need to add. I know a couple of things that come up, like Art Festival at the May, put that date on. Oh, thank you. Oh, perfect. So. Oh, okay, sorry. So we'll start with on Wednesday, 1/29 at 3 p.m. I know that's right around the corner. But there is a United Against Hate workshop, I guess.
It's the first one.
Yeah. So do we have a committee established already? I don't think we have them. We should.
I
Okay.
think it was dissolved, if anything.
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone is available, if we want to, or maybe the question is, do we want to establish a committee to plan something like this, and maybe that's the next step.
Yeah, I'd love to, I'd love to hear what they have to say about timing and resources, but it's a terrible time.
Yeah,
What was it again?
it's 1:20. It's next Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Oh, well, what week did they pick for United Against Hate Week?
You have to go to the webinar to find out.
I thought they reviewed that.
Oh, what we did for United Against Hate.
Is that on there? Is it on there? I think they did just announce it. I think I sent it to you all, right?
Yeah, I just can't remember.
Let me look.
Can someone join virtually? I can join virtually if that's not.
It is a webinar. It's a
Yeah,
webinar.
okay, I can join and
Okay.
just take notes.
Okay.
And what's the date that it was? Oh, here we go. Starts October 19th through October 25th. Sunday, October 19th to Saturday, October 25th. It's during that week.
Probably, is it usually on a Saturday? If so, then it would be that Saturday, the 25th, but I don't know if it's always been on a Saturday.
If what's always been.
So United Against Hate Week has been announced as the date that Lloyd just said. October 19th to 25th. And so is the Unity Walk, is that just a Pleasant Hill thing or is that a part of it's a United Against Hate thing?
Well, we did it one time. So I don't think there's an always, like there's no always.
I mean, I didn't know if there's an always for United Against Hate, like the
Oh.
organization.
They had it in November for a while. And then wanted to remove it away from elections. So last year we moved it earlier to September and now next year looks like it's in October. So I think they don't always have an always, they just like usually release a bunch of recommended activities and then cities participate if they want to. A lot of cities do just video, social media campaigns. I've seen like, my school did like a chalk drawing thing and other activities, and there's just a bunch you can look through. Unity Walk was one of them that we decided to do. But we don't have like an always. And that, so when is it? It's the end of the 25th? Was like, does it hit Halloween?
No, before
No,
Halloween.
before.
So.
There's that big,
Well,
like trick or treating thing now.
Trunk or treat.
Yeah. Trying to think what other city events are around that time.
Oh, you know what, I don't know if anyone has a school calendar, what's the break? October break as
Oh,
well?
It's right before then.
Okay, good.
It's early. His school starts like August 11th.
Okay.
It's sick. Sure.
August 6th.
I was shocked.
So, yeah, I don't know if we wanted to do the walk so we don't have to do it during that week. That's what we did the first time, and we chose not to because there's so much going on the next week.
It tends to get numbers to align it with United Against Hate Week and they provide us with some resources.
The posters.
Yeah.
Is there a way to combine perhaps, because October 25th, the week after, is the other Halloween event, is there a way to combine? Maybe Unity Walk with,
That's what I was thinking, but that one's.
Like a Halloween Unity Walk? The kids in costumes? It's kind of cute. We'd get big numbers.
I think that one's Parks and Rec, I don't think that's the city, right? The trunk or treat thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And fall break is the 6th to the 10th.
Is Off the Grid still going in October?
They're still in their permit process, but there is full intention to hold it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but when does it end? I know it's like April through October, right?
Like time the walk to end as Off the Grid starts and people linger.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me check the email.
Anyone have a minute? I don't remember it going into November.
Like April through October or
I
something.
think I thought it do November.
Yeah, that's too late.
Well, Lloyd and I separately are in touch with Off the Grid to talk about that, so we could bring this up when we connect with them.
If we could do like a, instead of a walk, you could do like a chalk drawing there.
Yeah, I love that.
Or a band or something.
Yeah.
We're 20 minutes into one bullet, on one item. But I think we should gather, I think it
Yeah.
sounds like a possibility, and I think there's a couple things we could marry this up with. And so Liz, I appreciate you going to that meeting, and we'll get a report
I
out.
think kind of go from there.
Yeah.
As far as establishing an actual committee to work on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Liz. Okay,
Observation in May,
what's that?
a lot of month observations in May.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, that was United Against Hate, the Art, Wine and Music Festival will be May 16th through 18th. We'll probably be asked to take a booth again on that day, the shift, just kind of prepare for that. I'll get that on the calendar. PD National Night Out, that is in August, we don't have a final date for that yet. Oh,
It's
sorry.
August, I think it's August 6th.
August 6th, okay, great.
Birthday at school.
Mhm.
Night out, perfect. And do we have we had any presence there in the past?
No, this was a new invitation to you all from PD.
Okay. And I'm going to ask, I don't know, but yeah, so we can kind of think about that. Well, we might, be represented there, or whatever we get, maybe I assume we'd have a booth or something.
Yeah.
That's one. Community Service Day, September 20th. Then of course, we're talking with Off the Grid, so we can talk to them about those different.
Yeah, they
so-
proactively really
On those questions.
Yeah.
And then a question also, are we gonna do the Nora lighting in 25?
And yeah, I think the city's planning on it.
It was
Okay.
so good.
Okay, so I don't think we have a date yet, but,
So I had slightly different information.
oh,
So the city loved it and thought it was great, and would encourage us to take it.
Oh, they want the Mercy Commission to sponsor it.
They will not be throwing resources at it next year.
What resources did they?
I think this.
Oh, just like having staff members there?
Yeah.
Okay. But they're willing to help the space?
Yes, yeah.
was there a budget that you needed for that?
No, there wasn't, like, everything was volunteer, but I think the budget is the staff members. There were you and a couple other staff members working? Is
I
that-
was on the clock anyway, yeah, no, I was,
You were on,
I was not,
we're not working?
yeah, no, I was, this event did not take anything from me, I was on the clock
Okay.
anyway.
It was a great event. And it was packed. It was hot in there.
I didn't see you there. That's how crowded it was.
So I guess the question would be, are you going to add that to our docket as well?
Looks like it.
I don't think it's is it a huge event?
No,
So-
the temple didn't have to do it. They
Okay.
just showed up. Yeah.
See people opening doors, closing doors, walking up, cleaning up afterwards. Not that there was that much to clean.
Okay.
Maybe it's sure we don't light it on fire.
Yeah. There's probably
Um,
some kids' jackets left over from the kids crawling around the floor.
Mostly mine.
So, I assume that we probably need to put together a proposal to present to the city. We'd like to have this event again and making sure that we have their complete total blessing in conjunction with the temple, I assume.
Do we,
Do we need to do that, Leon,
or
or
to just add it to the calendar?
I think the latter, right?
Is that?
just add to the calendar?
I think so.
Okay, just making sure that, we can reserve the space there,
Yeah.
just so we have space in the middle. Okay. And then the other question was, do those meeting dates look okay? Did everyone take a look at the meeting dates for our meetings?
Is it registered? You're moving it back for.
Do you remember what that? I forgot already.
Yeah, I was waiting to see you. So when I went back to publish the dates, I realized that I had made a couple errors or didn't catch some of the dates, and it's just one Tuesday a month. And so, because they were voted and approved, and to present the amendment to you all.
Oh, so we need to vote on these red dates?
Yes, yeah, just
Okay.
the amended calendar.
Okay. We can take that up right now. And so, we were presented with a piece of paper and we just voted on it. And and those two dates are not the third Tuesday of each month. Okay. All right. So, looking at this sheet of paper, in red are not the dates we've approved at this point for the year, but they reflect the third Tuesday of each month. Is there a motion to move our April 15th meeting to the 22nd and our October 6th meeting to the 21st?
So April,
Oh, no, we can still discuss that. Keep discussing.
Yeah, sorry.
April 15th is the third Tuesday of the month.
You were right. You're right, Sydney.
So she was right from the beginning.
First time.
And then let me check October 6th.
Yeah.
I know October 6th is definitely not going to be the third.
Oh, yeah.
21st.
Okay, let me check. I'm doing May 20,
Oh.
okay.
Jinx, catching that.
17.
I think I did it. So these meetings usually coincide with the city council meetings, which are the first and third. And April starts on a Tuesday. So the third Tuesday is the 15th, but the third Monday is the 21st.
So does it create a problem?
No,
Okay.
no. I thought that I had made an error because the third council meeting is 21st, but yeah.
Just how the Tuesdays lined up that month, because the very first day of the month is a Tuesday.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
So you
So-
all can keep it, yeah.
So all we really need to vote on potentially is October 6th to the 21st.
Yes, that's correct.
Lloyd, motion by Lloyd. Is there a second? All right. Seconded by Candace. The motion before this commission is to change our meeting calendar for October this year from the 6th to the 21st. Can I hear the ayes? Ayes. No nays or abstentions less. The motion pass. That single change to the calendar.
And just to.
No.
And then was there something else on this, Lloyd, you wanted to direct?
No, I just wanted to say, because we've kind of gone over time, let's talk about any recognitions for like June, July, August. Let's wait until then.
Okay.
That's okay.
Is that okay with everyone?
Perfect. Can I
Oh.
add one share that, the city manager did ask for city staff to do a Black History Month proclamation in February. And so it doesn't have to come from the Diversity
Oh.
Commission. I just want to let you all know that there's one happening.
Oh, so they're already doing it, or?
I will be doing one,
Okay, do you have what didn't I do one last year?
probably.
So this,
Yeah, no. You know, you all tend to do
Yeah.
proclamations, so I just
Yeah.
wanted you to know, and not be caught off guard.
Our toes will not feel stepped on.
Okay.
Gonna see 9 of us in the, what are you doing? Our turf.
How you think you're,
Pop up like moles in the back gallery.
I have the one from International Holocaust Remembrance
I
Day.
forgot mine, sorry.
I don't know where to store them, but you got it.
Are we also doing, our, web presence, our posts as well?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
supposed to do March.
Yeah, and
I did March.
I'm working on a Lunar New Year one.
Okay, perfect.
That's starts next week.
Okay.
Frida sent me some awesome events that are happening that I'm gonna include. Yes.
And I'm supposed to do an April, one for celebrating diversity month, social post. So one last
Thank
time.
you.
I'm doing the National Women's History for social.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is
March.
March, okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Any other questions on the calendar? Do we have to approve this now? Is that right, or?
No, these things were already.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Anything else you want to cover in calendar? Anything anybody else wants to cover in calendar section? No. All right. All right, we also agreed to review the budget at each meeting and determine how it will be allocated. For fiscal year 24-25, city manager allocated $2,500 of discretionary funds to be used for commission-related expenses. I got an email.
Oh, yeah, so we met, should we go to that board plan now, or?
I think it's related enough to, well, we could do it here, or we could save it wherever you want.
Okay, save it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that make you happy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I just have a quick question though. Did we still have the $223.50 from last?
Yeah, confirmed that you have that.
Okay, so that's in addition to the 2389, correct?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. $223.50.
All right. So any discussion, any new thoughts on how to allocate this budget?
No, but I think I would like to move the budget discussion to the end because we have other things that we need to discuss that might be related to the budget, so I would like to move that topic to the end of the agenda for next meeting. Not for today, it's fine, but
Okay.
for the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got no concerns with that. Yep. Okay.
Great.
So, Juneteenth planning.
All right, lots going on. So the three of us met, we talked about a variety of different things. I guess to start, we're gonna leave the sponsor levels the same. I don't know if we talked about that before or not, but we'd like to leave those the same. So it's a 500, 1,000, 1,500. I should have brought the sponsor letter from last year, but I could do that as well.
And what does it get you at each one again?
So.
We're marketing to our.
Yep. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. The gold sponsor, stage sponsor, it's not called the gold sponsor, I think, it's about $1,500. Your company banner, feather banner located on the side of the stage, VIP parking for 2 spots, premier placement of your logo on full color digital flyers, premier placement of your logo on full color paper flyers distributed throughout the city, announcements on the city's social media pages bi-weekly, premier placement of your company logo on a large banner that hangs at City Hall. I think we did that last year. Availability of 1 table or booth spot, premier placement of your logo and concert ads in the city's Outlook newsletter distributed to all the residents who receive that. And then sponsor name announced at the beginning and then the celebration for $1,500. Silver sponsor, your company banner, feather banner located on the site of the celebration, premier placement of your logo on full color digital flyers, premier placement of your logo on full color paper flyers, announcements on the city's social media pages, bi-weekly availability of 1 table or booth spot, premier placement of your company logo on a large banner that hangs at City Hall, and sponsor name announced at the beginning and the end of the celebration. And then bronze, placement of your logo on full color digital flyers, placement of your logo on full color flyers distributed throughout the city, announcements on the city's social media pages, bi-weekly availability of 1 table or booth spot, and sponsor name announced at the beginning and end of the celebration. And that's just what we had last year. And there were folks, I think, who just donated in general, more just support. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I think we recognize, but very, just I think we recognize all the sponsors.
Like just read it out at some point.
Right, yeah, got it. So we'd like to stick with that. As we did last year as well, we'd like to reach out to the other local commissions and invite them to participate as well if they'd like to have a booth. We had a number of booths last year as well. And we discussed first of all reaching out to the hosting booths. Many of those booths are sponsors, starting with those, and then kind of going from there. For example, some of our major ones, our major sponsors last year, Clean Energy, Rec and Park. Clean Energy was 1,000, Rec and Park was 500, Public Services 1,500, Orange Theory 500. You had Bayside Properties 100, Friends of Bellswell Gift and Con, Friends of the Library. We have money left over before. Matt Wren did 500, Grocery Outlet did 500. Off the Grid, that's kind of in conjunction, Gift and Kind, Contra Costa did 500. So that got us about $7,500 last year. And then as far as different acts, we definitely like to reach out again. Unique Derek, I'm gonna reach out to them. I found a new band who I'd like to I'd go with. Did you get my message, Leon? I don't know the best. Oh, maybe you missed it. Maybe I sent it to your email. But they're called so they're called the Joint Chiefs. And
They're so fun.
they're pretty. An example, but
Martin.
I think that was fun. So a friend of mine who has an entertainment company, so he brought them to me, gave us a few, and that was the one that kind of stood out. They cost $2,000. He has a fee, like a finder's fee, basically of $300. He said he could potentially work with that, but that's what he typically does. I wanted to bring it to all of you, see if that was reasonable or not. Obviously we can, with sponsor money to get over the, 2,000 that we did before, if that works necessarily. But I just wanted to kind of bring that as a potential option.
Yeah, what we paid last year. Are you looking at the
2,000.
2,000? Yeah.
What's the overall cost of putting the event together?
Last year, the overall cost was $7,490. And we brought in $7,266.50. So we had about $223.50.
What were our other expenses?
Expenses.
Like stage rental?
No, that wasn't included, but it was Princess Tiana, which was paid by the library, Unique Derek, paid by the library. Sorry, Princess Tiana was at $190, paid by the library. Unique Derek was $800, paid by the library. The band was $2,000. The audio, that was $2,750. I don't know if that'll go up or not. With Trevor, he's the audio guy that we typically use. Porta potties for $250, banner $450, and then the party rental is $26.50.
What was the last one?
Sorry, party rental for the tents and things, tables, chairs, $826.50.
I mean, if the food trucks don't cost anything, right, then you pay for that.
We didn't pay anything for food or drink or anything like that because that was all taken care of by Off the Grid.
Got
Which technically is a huge gift in kind.
Yeah.
In theory. So, and I know we also had a number of amazing acts last year, and they did do everything for gratis. So I know we probably want to, some of those folks will probably potentially, maybe need a little bit of funds this year to be realistic. So maybe we can kind of think about that and doing our sponsorship work to make sure that we build that in potentially. So just something that also.
And who were the others last year? Who were we thinking of?
So the vendors last year, let me make sure I have that one. We had Metropolis Dance Complex. We had From Africa to the Caribbean and Beyond drum presentation. Adore and Nzezwe, that's Keisha's daughter, she did it for free. But I think, am I missing that's correct, right?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that was it, yeah. And then we did have a number of nonprofits who also were there. Let's see who else. We also had Sonia Denise Roberts, she came out. Valley View PTSA, they came out.
The BSU,
Branches,
College Park BSU came out.
College Park, BSU, Branches, that was a nonprofit, the name Brags. And of course we had city guests, as well. And I think, Mackenzie Lee Foster as well.
They didn't come.
Oh, they didn't come, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think that was really general. Love that.
Did you mention that, the trucks, they have a entertainment? Did you say that at the last meeting?
Oh,
Yeah,
You mean
So
alcohol?
who do they have? What kind of entertainment do they have?
you mean the food trucks? Off
Yes.
the grid? So.
Yes, off the grid.
So they brought an entertainer, just kind of like I think maybe 1 or 2 person kind of group, but the message never got to them to cancel them because we already had plenty of entertainment.
They wander around looking for a space for them.
Right. So what we actually kind of discussed was the potential of, if they're gonna pay someone anyway, maybe we could get them to pay for one of our acts instead. And then we'd have extra money to come. So.
yep, that's
And
right.
they did
Great.
Yeah, and we're just waiting to connect with them, and they have a new events person, so.
What else am I missing?
What do you need from us at this point?
Hopefully you can put it on your calendars, because we'll need lots of support and, setting up and everything like that. But also helping, obviously, I'll go directly to, with Lionel's help, go directly to Jeff to see if we can renew some of those sponsors from last year. Love to get more sponsors this year as well. Taking the information, I'll if this all sounds good, I'll come up with a final, just update the dates and everything like that. And I assume because last year we had to get it approved by Ethan as city manager before we can send anything out. So get that approval, and then we can get that into all your hands. So you can kind of start reaching out to folks who might be interested in supporting. We're way earlier this year than last year, which is great. So hopefully people will be able to get that on their budgets. Potentially support us.
Can we have like a regular ad in the Outlook and that bi-weekly email, just if you're interested in being the sponsor?
Excellent idea.
I can make a note to do, or.
Well, is that possible?
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, do you have an idea of which one you'd want it? So January 27th is the deadline for the March, April. And then it'll be a March deadline, I think, for the May, June. So
think we just gotta get it in March, April, right? Because May, June will be too late.
Well, you'll have, that means it'll arrive to homes in May. Is there?
We want the money sooner. I recommend we go sooner.
We could do the bi-weekly email, and I can ask Jeff if that's something we could put on social media.
When is the tentative date for the event?
It will be June
It's on.
18th, Wednesday, June 18th. And I don't know where that falls in with the summer concert series, but yeah.
I think you all had me ask Jeff, and it's not a problem. Zach also had me ask Vestar because they hold summer concerts as well, I believe, and they said theirs is the third Thursday or something, and so I.
Okay, so it doesn't attach it. Yeah, okay, great.
Did we open up to public donation this time?
Oh, did we not do that last year?
I don't think it.
Meaning like past the hat?
Or do you mean just?
Just a website that, hey, you wanna donate as a, like anyone, that'd be cool. You just send to your coworker like $5, $10.
Give better page or something, or a social
Like a link. they can
link to.
donate.
We talked about it last year because they were doing it for the 4th of July parade, where they had the QR code and people could donate, and it got squashed by the city for some reason. I don't remember why though. Can we look into it again and see if we're able to do that?
Yeah, the immediate thoughts that are coming to my mind is that the city,
Cannot solicit donations from its citizens.
no, I was thinking more about our softwares.
Oh,
Like, I know we issue checks still, I mean, we do direct deposit the payments, but accounts payable stuff is, so I'm trying to think if they have a system in place to receive.
Could
via
create a
the
banner.
QR code.
Could we find out how the July 4th committee does it? So that.
Well, yes, and they are completely separate from the city.
Oh,
July 4th commission.
That's why. Okay.
Is
it's a
this,
private entity as opposed to a commission.
are we a nonprofit? I never. Is the city a nonprofit?
No, public agency. Yes, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Technically, then we can fundraise, right, if we're a nonprofit.
Well, yeah, they could get credit, right?
Right.
I will only respond affirmatively to things I feel sure about. I am going to take notes on all your questions and try and get it.
Yeah, because I mean, there's sponsorship, but people can also. donate to the city.
Oh, I love that.
We're able to take sponsorship levels, but I guess we should be able to do individual donations too.
People have done individual donations,
Yeah.
but they just mostly write a check,
Yeah.
right? So we just want something.
You just want to make it easier, and then we need
you
to,
know, This century.
yeah,
So sponsorship levels are paid through checks mostly?
Yes, I think they have been in the past.
Yeah.
How did,
stewarded fund for us.
yeah,
So that's the only way that the city, well, we're gonna take it.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that's probably what it was.
well, I mean,
It just gets weird, like, who has the money and how?
yeah.
Like, this is how open mayors get just like this. I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no.
This is like, you just have to do it right. You have to have safeguards in place. We're talking about $7,500, but we just gotta be careful.
There's been some updates to some of our systems, so hopefully. Better answer.
And then we can talk, we don't have to talk about schedule now, but, last year, we kind of started with set up at, 9 with, the city was building a stage and everything like that. We covered the trash bins around 2:30 and, put out signs and things like that. And so, we can talk about that a little later, but.
We started at 9 AM?
No, we didn't get there until about 2:30, so
Okay.
for setup.
I think we wanted to confirm that we want to invite other commissions to sponsor booths.
Yeah.
And that we're gonna send out the invitation to them now.
Mhm. So last year, yeah, there was a letter that we sent to all the commissions to see if they were interested in supporting as well. And I'll just get that and send that to you.
Liaisons, feel free to
Yeah.
communicate with your.
Yeah.
How many of the vendors brought their own booths?
I think we provided tables for everyone. Or we had enough tables for everyone, but I think some like maybe Orange Theory, I feel like they might have had their own table. I think some folks had their own tables, but we provided enough, so if they, each vendor wanted a table, they could have it. I think.
Because you all rented furniture.
And we rented, yeah, and we rented enough tents, you know, based on what that looks like. But there's all, yes. With all that being said, I think it worked out very well with the amount of folks. We can only do so much because we don't have so much space. So I think we have like 8 tables or tents. I can find it, but you know, like 20 would probably be way too much. So just.
Just a note too with the commissions, the commission invitation, I think the invitation would be for them to host an activity at the booth. Is that okay? Just because I didn't know if what sponsor means and no other commission has a budget. So you could invite them to like to also donate, you know, personally if you want to, but just know that if that invitation is made to a commission, it's asking the people to each donate as opposed to the commission to donate some funds.
So each individual in the commission could donate, just not the commission, is that what you said?
The only reason I'm saying the commission as a group couldn't donate is because there is no budget.
But yeah, okay, got it.
So I guess maybe the exception would be if they like raised money for something and had leftover, wanted to transfer that allocation.
Are we the only commission with a budget?
Just CAC, I think, right?
Yeah. So last year this is what we asked for. We welcome your partnership and commitment to providing recognition of your commission at this popular event. We're seeking either a booth/table with an activity for this event or for the commission to sponsor a performer. The event will take place from 4 to 8, blah, blah, blah. Primary engagement with booths, concert will start at 6. Please see guidelines for the booths, tables, performers on the stage.
And we say sponsor, do we mean money?
We just, not necessarily.
Yeah, they could find an entertainer that would do it.
Got it, okay.
And how we did it, we set it up in gold, silver, and bronze. In gold, we provide a family-friendly activity for the community to complete. Minimum, staff the booth table from 4 to 5:30. Provide information about your commission and ways for the public to get involved. Silver, sponsor performer. Provide a family-friendly performer. Performers will be asked to stay and participate from 4 to 5:30. Performers should be from a Black-owned business or group. Performers' content will be screened through the Juneteenth subcommittee for approval. And then bronze, attend the event as a commission, wear your commission shirts, wear your name badge, engage with the community. So those are the 3 of the versions.
I think we had one person from a commission come.
You
and help
great.
us set up, yeah.
How about adding senior network or sponsorship?
Cool.
Okay. Am I missing anything?
Did we want to send it, well, no, schools are not in session, I was gonna say, did we want to send it to the schools? I think we talk about it every year and it was like, no, you're
Yep.
not in session.
I did have, but first year we did it, we put it in all the PTA newsletters for May, just like advertising the event.
You could send it to all the local swim clubs, they are strong in summer. I could do that.
Okay. Any other? Oh, and if you folks have potential, beyond just potential sponsors, potential acts perhaps, I mean, whatever, you know, just, because we want to continue to make it bigger. And we can just, go. So. Because I know some of us are closet amazing singers in this room. But call anyone out or anything.
Any other questions for the subcommittee? Okay. All right, moving on to the ad hoc subcommittee updates, community conversations.
Oh,
Yeah. Do you want me to give the update that you and I talked about, or do you
Yeah,
want to
we
give
can.
Sandra forth? Okay,
So following last meeting, we had a discussion around how we wanted to involve the community conversations to get them off the ground for Jonna's great push. And after much discussion, we wanted to take it to the group to see if you guys would be supportive of Lloyd and I going to city council to just have an open conversation about what the community conversations are, what kind of involvement we can plan from them, and then in this upcoming, administration of theirs, like, would there be a world that they could participate, and can we partner with them in ways so that when we have these community conversations, not only are we giving a forum for the community to speak and share their experience, but also give them resources on, if they are experiencing, let's say, bullying or racism, how can the city help them in that moment? And that's something we can't do as a commission. So just opening the floor for discussion about what the partnership could look like with the city council in this moment, in a new era. Anything I missed?
I don't think so. When the idea of community conversations, I don't know if I mentioned this here, but when the idea of community conversation was brought up back in whatever year that was, during COVID, it was brought to the Civic Action Commission from the mayor and the police chief and council. And they said they wanted to open up conversations, especially since everyone was at home. This was all done on Zoom. So they had a very specific intention behind that. And so, we took it, the subcommittee of the diversity commission at the time, CAC, the diversity subcommission from the CAC took that, and then we put together our conversation series. So I think it's always really helpful to hear exactly what council wants to, what it looks like, what they want to see out of that, and then we can kind of take it and kind of go from there. But we want to make sure that we're taking their charge, and make sure that we're not just going out and
Especially with new council members, there's a new makeup.
Exactly.
I mean, our experience is that we know they want to be involved, because remember what happened when somebody had something that resembled a community conversation, they thought they weren't invited.
Exactly.
So I know they want to be involved. I would also, I certainly support, you two going as our reps. I would also just be prepared. The experiences with city council, expect questions. The question back will be, well, what do you
want? Yeah.
what do you think you can do for us?
Mm-hmm. We should be prepared for some answers.
Yeah.
So they want you to bring them options.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think that answers will be on your company and
Probably. I think that'd be better.
Okay. Any other questions for
Ask that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a presentation, going in the presentation section, you could probably do a couple slides that list what you have on deck for the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Broadcast, plans.
Okay.
Great.
Any other input for them on this or questions? Do we need to do anything to get them on the calendar?
I'll just mention it. We had our ET exec team meetings are every Tuesday, so it just happened today, but I will Actually, I guess that would be my question. Is there an anticipated date? So the meetings are the first and third Mondays.
Sooner the better, could.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell
Mondays are
you,
usually pretty good for me.
I think it's the March third date is a little heavy on the action items, things that have to be voted on. So maybe not March third, but there's definitely room on the February third agenda and
Yeah, we could get a presentation together by the third, I think. If you're available.
otherwise the next one, the February 24th.
I can do it.
Let's do it. February third?
Yeah.
Anything else with that? Okay, moving on to addressing racial bullying.
So Sandra and I met a couple weeks ago and a lot of people were these and then the Education Commission also, we met over the weekend. And so since there's no funding for a moderator, so we, after discussion, Lori kindly volunteered to be the moderator for the event. Yeah, so that we saved the $3,000 sponsorship. So basically Lori sponsored our event. So that is a huge lift for us, that we don't need to look for a moderator. So the next step will be, I think we still want to keep the format to have a moderator and then a set of panelists and then the audience. So I think a few things that we want to discuss with the group is like defining the panelists. Maybe mixed of actual parents that experience racial bullying, their kids experience racial bullying. So that could be the panelist option, and then maybe a mix of different school principals that willing to be on the panel list. And then the third one would be the actual people from the anti-bully resource in the district. I know different school district or the city have resources like a hotline or contact person that you can contact to report or get help from. So maybe
Like a behavioral health type person?
like when I Googled the Mount Diablo school district, they have a person you can reach out for any like racial or racism or anti-bullying. There's an actual person you can contact to
Is
get
that-
help.
You're required to post it on your school website of how to report bullying, so law.
So
every
does this
school has to
person
have
just
a
collect
system.
data, or do they provide resources, or?
Well, if it's reported, then they have to investigate.
So because I think the panelists would be good to have the principal, the people that actually help you if you have experience racial bullying, and then the third group would be the principal. So those are the three groups that we have in mind for the panelists. And then for the audience, I know we were not 100% clear before, but then for the audience, maybe we focus more on the schools and parents, like kids. We still open up to the community, but then with a focus group, then we can attract better numbers for the events, more predictable numbers instead of just having 10 people show up. Would be like more promising number for successful events. So that's what we have.
Yeah, the focus group would be middle school and high school, and then obviously the event is gonna be shared citywide by the city manager. And so anyone can show up and participate and learn.
Do you have a date?
We're thinking of April for now, but no fixed date. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we wanted to make sure that there are some, we wanted to make sure that the mayor was there, obviously, or members of council, perhaps the superintendent.
Yeah, that's what-
Maybe some principals, perhaps, parent representative, I like the idea of a mental health representative. when we originally did the community conversations, we always had a police representative as well. And I think I mentioned students if they were comfortable. And then how we did it was we had a period of time where we let everyone know that we were putting together this event, because it was all on Zoom. So people were able to send in questions. So we just called for, different questions you might have. I took all those questions, kind of consolidated them down. And then before maybe about a week out or a few days out, I presented all the questions to the panelists just so they could be ready. And then since it would be in person, people could, we can start with those questions. Folks could answer those. And then if we had time, depending on what time looked like, we could certainly take questions from the audience as well. Very good.
Brina, there's a district complaint manager title listed on Pleasant Hill's website as someone to look up for complaints and issues on their handbook. This is the district handbook. Principals are the primary contact for any bullying issues, but if they want to escalate to district level, there is a titled person called district complaint manager who handles bullying and those type of issues with that person.
Okay.
Any recommendations on the panelists that you have in mind, or should we just start reaching out to all the principals to see who is interested in?
I think you have to pick a date and see if they're gonna be available.
And April tends to be really busy for schools because of testing.
Spring break.
Also
Spring break
comes
this week.
out, and
It's a-
state test starts.
Second week for not that.
So if we don't do April, then it'll be after summer, because May school ends.
Well, you could do the end of April, but I would if you're reaching out to principals and proposing would you like to come? And they have busy calendars. You just want to make sure that they can look and see, am I free?
Is there any way you all could pull this together in March, perhaps? Because that their principals tend to be a little lighter in March and not so much in April and May.
I guess the question would be, could we get it on superintendent's calendar? Can we get it on, are there certain folks who we definitely want to be there? Make sure we can get it on their calendar first. Is there availability in the library for me having in the library?
Sounds, not an expert, it sounds to me like principals are more important than supers as sort of your on the ground, frontline enforcement mechanism.
Yeah, true. And is it all the principals? Are we looking at College Park, Valley View,
Middle and high school.
Sequoia, and Pleasant Hill?
Yeah, I'd shoot for those four as your target audience.
Would do it at Walnut Creeks.
And also I thought I heard something about parents also who were affected by, how are you all going to gauge that?
So I have a list of parents, Black families, contacts that I would email and I would engage them. I know a few of them personally, so I have a list that I was going to reach out to.
Even if they can provide the students too. The one with the other panel. If you have family contacts, you could ask if any of their kids want to be on there too.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It is a good idea, but I don't know if any students would want to do that.
You don't get much.
Yeah, they're usually uncomfortable with that because we had an event like that we were trying to put together at College Park High School, not through the commission, but outside of the work that I'm doing here. And some of the BSU students were going to speak at College Park about everything that was going on there. And then the night before the event, they backed out. They were not comfortable speaking in front of everyone and opening up about what they were going through. So I really don't want to put that kind of pressure on the students.
What about former students, like, you know, college age or, you know, not too far out? Because, you know, they're a little bit more mature, you don't have to worry, you know, but they can definitely speak to their experience growing up in Lisbon. What it was like.
Is there a DVC BSU?
I don't,
There is, mhm.
yeah,
You could also do like, have them put their story in writing, make it anonymous.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, could read letters aloud as part of it.
Yeah, I mean, when we did, oftentimes we did have students, but it was also on Zoom, so it was a lot less intimidating than sitting in a whole room of, you know, however many folks.
And I'm sure you all already have some kind of written sort of outcomes or objectives that you're trying to achieve through these,
Mhm.
just so it can be like a comfortable conversation, if things can escalate sort of very quickly.
Yes, we have a subcommittee that meets outside of here, so we are covering as much as possible as we can to organize it. Thank you.
To complement the listserv that you have already, I do know that the principals have access to send targeted messages to Black identifying families, because we get them for like the Black Excellence Awards and things like that. And so I know they can run a filter and send your invitation.
That would be great. Yes.
We should target all families, right? Because I think everyone should know about these issues and, you know, make sure that our kids, all kids know what the resources are, we need to make sure everybody knows. So all families should be targeted, I think.
But as far like as having someone on the panel,
For sure.
everyone on the panel will be a Black
Oh,
person.
for sure.
So for
I
that
thought we were talking
purpose,
about audience.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah,
for
and
that
then for
purpose.
the anonymous, the invitation to do an anonymous submission, the principals could send it.
The district can probably help you send that out.
And that was what was great about providing the questions beforehand, because they were all anonymous.
Yeah.
And then I just could have taken them.
You don't have to read it
Exactly,
all live.
right.
This sounds great. If you guys want help reaching out or whatever, once you have things drafted and maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next step is to decide the date. We really need to decide date at the next meeting, and then we can move forward with all the other plans.
And you don't need you don't need the full commission's permission to decide a date. Like the subcommittee is empowered to
Right.
pick a date that works, whether for your stakeholders or yourselves,
Right.
your target
Mhm.
audience, whatever it is. Like y'all get to do that as part of your subcommittee charter.
Then you will bring it back for the goals and the objective, the date and the invitees.
Yeah.
Like that, right? So we can read through it.
Yeah, we have a solid draft of that.
Any further questions for this subcommittee? All right, we'll now hear from commissioners regarding item 10, commission liaison updates. Civic Action Commission.
So, I met with Anthony Ashford with the Action Commission. They had their meeting, wasn't able to be recorded for some reasons, but, one big thing that he did bring up, I think they're gonna announce the concerts at the next board meeting for the concert, dates and, different acts. So they're excited about that. I know they're looking to increase the number of family nights that they had last year for concerts. So I think they had one, and they want to move that up a little bit more. So, and then they had a request for us. They are doing a Earth Day event this year, and they were wondering if we'd like to potentially partner with them on their Earth Day event.
What is the date of their event?
Do we have a date for Earth Day event?
I believe so.
Maybe they didn't have the date right yet, but
Is that the thing they were doing with the library? They were talking about the library.
I think so. Yeah, so once they do figure out whatever that date is. We didn't talk about how we might partner, but they just threw it out as would be interested in potentially partnering.
I think generally we're receptive to helping, but like, I think we want a more specific ask. It's
Yeah.
like when, what? Yeah.
Mhm.
Generally, you've got a friend in us, but yeah, I think we,
Earth Day is April 22nd, and I believe they were trying to do things across the week.
Okay,
That sounds, does that sound right?
sounds about right. So I can let them know we're definitely open, but we'd like a little bit more information. Okay. About it that I have.
Mission on Aging.
So the bulk of the last Commission on Aging meeting was a presentation from a company called, or an organization called the Village Program, which is an organization that is across the United States and across California. They have 300 villages across the US and 10,000 members and volunteers in California. And basically what the organization does is they partner with cities to fill in gaps where there are resources needed in support of the aging communities. So whether that be like a food, train kind of model, or helping people get care after surgeries and things like that. So that was the whole presentation, was the Village Program sharing how it partners with cities. It currently works with Concord, currently works with Walnut Creek. And I think the next step for the Commission on Aging is to decide if we want to introduce a village program to Pleasant Hill to kind of complement everything that we do with the senior center and the other resources available. It sounded really cool, but there wasn't any decisions made, but that was the meeting.
Questions for Liz? No? Education Commission. Okay, it's coming up. Did you wanna, I got your email. Do you want to talk about that in this section under announcements? Let's do that.
Great. So I received an email from College Park today. And it went out to everyone, to the staff, to the parents, the students. And it was an email about, because of the new president that we have now in the country, they want to remind people to be respectful of diverse ways of thinking and speaking and expressing, how they feel about how, whatever their choices are. So it was a really well-written message, and it was also advising them of the policies that they have in place. If someone chooses to not follow the correct behaviors at the school, and, reinforcing that the school should be a safe place for everyone, no matter what their beliefs are. So I was really impressed with that email. It's the first one. I'm in the third year at College Park, with my daughter being a junior there. And it was the first time I saw an email like that. And it was really refreshing. It made me feel good. It made me feel safe. And so my recommendation is I would like the city manager, the city council, and the mayor to write a citywide, announcement, that is aligned to what College Park sent out, so that we have community alignment, and then we have, support that we're all on the same page here. The behaviors that the students at College Park High School exhibited in the past, I believe those behaviors are enforced at home. And so I feel that the city council and the mayor, the city manager, they have a responsibility to communicate to the city you know, that everyone should respect everyone, no matter what their belief is. I did also, send a recommendation to the police chief today. He's out, of the office, but, the captain will be reviewing that, and then they'll let me know what the recommendation is for a citywide communication as well, in aligned with what College Park is doing, you know, and when all those, racial bullying was happening at College Park High School, all these people that I just mentioned had to be somewhat involved in everything that was going on. And so I feel that they should align to what College Park is communicating to their staff, students, and parents.
Do you think, this is just a question, do you think if we present that to them, they're going to come back to us and say, can you draft something?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll draft it.
Perfect.
I can draft it tonight if they want it.
Can you share
But they,
I'd love to see it. I can forward it to. the
yes,
commission.
she'll forward it to you. I sent it to the two of them.
Does the city do like commendations, like at their council meeting? Like, I know we do proclamations, but do they do like, I wanna honor or do a letter of commendations?
I saw it sort of late in the day, but I did check in with Ethan and send a message to say like, have we done something like this before? Is there a precedence for this? So I can update you what his response is. The only times that I have seen it done is, and it's not quite what you're saying, but there have been a few times last year where the mayor took mayoral privilege to honor our parent who passed away, to recognize the 1-year anniversary of Warren Gaza. And then I think our current mayor has already used mayoral privilege to, and I can't remember what it was, but to do something that was like outside of the agenda in terms of statement. So maybe 3-ish times I've seen
And maybe they could, like, just commend the principal of College Park for sending this message and uplift, you know, like, we wanna acknowledge our agreement or something like that.
Absolutely. I want, the staff at College Park to also feel safe, you know, because they did not feel safe for many years, many years. And so if the mayor and everyone else shows support, they're gonna feel better about, you know, everything that they have to deal with in the next 4 years.
And I think if we prepare something, it'd be nice if it was signed off by the mayor, the police chief, et cetera, in conjunction with our group.
Mhm.
To be a pleasant illness, making this statement, we want you all to feel safe and, you know, so I think that'd be.
So powerful.
Yeah.
Is that,
So,
is that something that could go on the Outlook? I mean, it's probably too delayed, but would it be too late to put it?
27th is the deadline.
That would get a lot of eyeballs.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Sam. Awesome.
so what would be the next step then? How do we,
So do you just need to prepare,
no, I wanna go to them and see what
see
they
if
say.
they're, what they're.
But do they agree with this? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
draft anything
they-
first.
So would you ask the mayor if they would be in agreement with doing something like that?
Yeah, I am probably gonna wait for Ethan's response, which I'm hoping he can give me by tomorrow. And then assuming that he doesn't have any cause of concern, then I would send an email to the mayor. I think if I would copy diversity commission and maybe minimally the two of you as chair and vice chair.
Yeah. Can we include Sandra Tate with that?
Yeah, yes, I mean, I'll need to see, I will probably take Ethan's direction for how he wants me to present this to the mayor, but if he is open to that, yes, I would absolutely. And totally give you credit for the thought too. So,
And then I'll let you know when I hear back from the captain
Okay.
who's in now for the chief,
Oh,
the police captain. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for bringing that to us.
Thank you.
Any other announcements, information anyone wants to share?
quick thing, I think I don't know if I mentioned this, Community Service Day, September 20th, 2025. Do we have that already?
We talked about it real briefly.
Okay, sure. And then, wasn't there a committee that was putting together the, looking at, you know, what, oh no, we put it back to them. But as far as the, sorry, as far as getting the student representative, potential student representative, like, Lyon brought me a little bit of information, how much background checks actually cost. And so $120 to $210. So,
And those become mandatory for everyone in the room as soon as we invite a student.
yeah, so just right. Just things to think about.
Okay.
Are there any updates from the planning commission, Lona? We're gonna talk to them and see if they're joining us.
Just that the position is posted. Juanita is out of the office starting tomorrow, but she has all the communication around it, posts on the website, posts on the bulletin board outside in the normal ways that it goes out. And I think it was in this bi-weekly that came this Friday, went out this past Friday.
Anything else? All right, thank you for participating in tonight's meeting. The time is 8:17, and we are adjourned until our next regular meeting on Tuesday, February 18th, 2025, 6:30. Thank you.